something Facebook that just came out with, and now they got it for groups. And what you do is you just click on Start Watch Party, and everybody will click on and get a notification and start watching.
Okay. We're going to get started, Laura. We're going to play my theme song.
Okay, great. I can see you on Facebook. Looks great.
All right.
Oh, you can.
There you go.
Ladies and gentlemen, Geri Pettio.
I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. And in time, this too shall pass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Geri Pettio taught the class. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Love's the answer, the greener grass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. One day at a time, free at last.
When you don't know just what to do.
Just what to do, just what to do.
If what you're feeling is really true.
Is really true, is it really true?
Just keep your ideas safe and sound.
Safe and sound, safe and sound.
That's exactly how change is found.
Change is hard, change is found. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. And in time, this too shall pass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Geri Pettio taught the class. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Love's the answer, the greener grass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. One day at a time, free at last.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Geri Pettio Show on HamiltonRadio.net. So tonight's going to be a really interesting show because this woman is no stranger to my radio shows. And I absolutely love my guest. She's a calling guest tonight. But my so-called co-host is actually the owner, one of the owners of Hamilton Radio. Doc G started Hamilton Radio. Tell everybody about that.
Oh, boy. We'll just start at 96, 97, and just start out of my basement. The music and stuff in the industry wasn't that good for my two girls growing up, and I just had an FM radio background, and I said, we could do better than this, and then just exploded from there. And then we started doing for City of Angels Radio, and then we came from there and then just created our own radio station. We were building out of there. So that's where we're at today.
So because of Hamilton Radio, I'm now on two other networks, guys. I'm with PANJ Radio with Rob Bell every month, the first Wednesday, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm with Beverly Nation Online with Brother O every other Monday night. I will be on next Monday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hamilton Radio has just been one of the biggest blessings for me. It goes beyond the radio, Gino. It goes beyond the radio. And I mean, what's transpired and has happened through Hamilton Radio with all of us is unbelievable how many people we've helped. And our network is unbelievable. We're heard all over the world, hundreds of thousands of people. We have actually gotten phone calls during shows. We have actually gotten different text emails of people thanking us for what we've done and brought to their lives and how we've helped them. In some cases, we've helped people not commit suicide, right, Gino?
Yeah, we empowered them.
We empowered them. A lot of amazing things. So I'm the author of I'm Not an Addict, I'm Just an Ass. And I want to let everyone out there know that if you order my book, you can go to Amazon, barnesandnobles.com. If you order my book, I'm Not an Addict, I'm Just an Ass, not only will it help an addict, it will also help their families. And it doesn't have to be just drugs, guys. It could be food. It could be sex addiction. We all have addictions, right? This book will help you in life, and all proceeds I will give back to help others. And everybody knows that's true. I will do that. I've done it already. Now, I want to introduce my guest. I want her to tell you her name and who she is, and then I'm going to read the poem I wrote about her. Hi, sweetheart.
Hello, Geri. Thank you so much for having me. I'm Laura Dunworth. I am an energy healer, a yoga teacher, a meditation teacher, a sound frequency healer, a health coach, and an essential oil advocate. Just all things health and wellness.
Laura and I met because we both graduated from the same school, IIN, for integrative nutritional health coaching. So she's one of my favorites. I mean, Laura's just such a beautiful person. I'm going to read this poem, and everyone out there will understand why then, okay?
Okay.
Here we go. My guest tonight is amazing. Laura Sayre Dunworth's her name. 1111 Health and Wellness is now her claim to fame. Nutritional health coaches we both are. It's how we came to meet. Trying to heal just one at a time is such a rewarding feat. Laura lives in Texas, happily married 21 years, a mom of 2 great sons, life of laughter and some tears. A former grade school teacher, transformed her life so much. An energy healer is her claim. Yoga and meditation is her touch. Essential oils are a huge part of how she heals herself. She has one for each ailment, all lined up on a shelf. Body, mind, and spirit brings optimal health for sure. Balance and wellness are key to bringing on a lasting cure. Laura loves to help all people far and near. Believes we're our own healers. Our journey will take us there. Laura loves to teach and also loves to learn. Finding blessing in all things her soul will always yearn. Laura plays the gong and Crystal singing bowls. This amazing lady has sure fulfilled her goals. The human side of her is really kind of cool. She has dogs and chickens, Doc G. To them, she is a jewel. I met Laura at IIN, the school we both attended. She led our coaching sessions. Our personalities just blended. Laura has so much to say. The floor I give to you. Tell us how we could heal our mind and body and spirit too. That's for you, sweetheart.
Oh, that's so beautiful, Geri. I'm so honored. Thank you.
I'm honored to have you here. So, first of all, I want you to tell everyone your information, how to get in touch with you and all that. And then at the end of the show, Doc G will have you do it as well. But we have your website up there, but tell everyone how they can reach out to you first, and then we'll give you the floor.
Yes, well, thank you. Feel free to email me, Laura at lauradunworth.com. That's LAURA at Laura Dunworth, DUNWORTH.com. I'd love to have you follow me on Facebook at 1111 Health and Wellness. That's my business Facebook page. Both of those have links to my YouTube channel, and I have several videos teaching people about essential oils, and also some self-healing techniques and meditations are there as well.
So I just want to let everyone know I'm going to be leaving at 5:30, and I usually don't do that, but there's a really good reason why, and Doc G is going to take over for Laura. I'm finally getting my real certification now in drug coaching, addiction coaching. So that's why I have to go, and I feel really bad, but I'm here until 5:30 with you, Laura. So my first question for you is this. Tell everyone what 1111 means to you.
Well, I'm glad you asked. I get asked that question quite a bit. About 5 years ago, I started seeing repeating number sequences everywhere I went. It seemed like every time I picked up my phone, it would be 1111 or 333 or 444, or I'd go to the grocery store and pick up some bananas and some fruit, and my bill would be $11.11. I'd see it on license plates. So it was really cracking me up, and I just couldn't quite figure out what was going on. And I started researching on the internet, as we have Google as just such a wonderful, helpful tool to us, and started finding that I wasn't the only one seeing numbers. And I started seeing lots of different interpretations of what these numbers meant. And 1111 is shown to be kind of a wake-up call, kind of a new beginning, and waking up to your purpose and your journey and what you're meant to do in life, and just kind of a waking up to who you are as a spiritual being, and reminding us that we are spiritual beings having a human experience versus the other way around. So I'm guessing that many of your listeners may also see repeating numbers, and just knowing that is just a sweet little sign from beyond that we have these wonderful helpers in our lives every day, and we have a beautiful mission to be here and to help others.
So do you remember, it was about 2 weeks after you and I had you on my other radio show, and we were talking about 1111, and I went to the grocery store. It was actually the Acme in Hamilton. My bill was $11.11. and I took a photo of it and texted it to you.
My bill was 11.11
Yes.
the other night.
Okay, so is this crazy?
It is not crazy, and it's happening all the time. These beautiful little synchronicities are just reminding us that we're here to anchor light, and we're here to be here for other people. And I actually just received a beautiful email today from a client of mine about her experience with me when I did some healing work on her, and her message came into my inbox at 1:11.
Oh, wow.
So it's just really a sweet little reminder.
So I have another question for you. I have some questions here that myself and Dr. are going to be asking you. What started you on your journey and when?
Okay, well, great question again. And I believe that we are all on a healing journey, an awakening journey. We may not always be consciously aware of it, but we often have things that happen in our lives that act as a catalyst. Maybe it's an illness. My husband fought cancer for 12 years, and I really believe that was kind of his awakening journey. For me, it was about 21 years ago when my younger brother died tragically, and suddenly and tragically. It was actually a hiking accident in Hawaii, so we weren't expecting it at all, and he was only 25 years old. And it was very interesting, the journey that took me on. It was, obviously a journey of grief and devastation and all of the stages that you go through when you're grieving. But more than that, I also noticed how it affected me physically and emotionally. I really felt that these emotions were manifesting in my physical body. I mean, I could feel my heart actually hurting. My digestive system suffered. My body felt weak and fatigued. And I just really began to notice that we are mind, body, and spirit beings, that when we heal, we have to heal on all of those different levels. And so that's kind of what my wake-up call was, to heal myself and to recover from that grief. And it also just kind of also got me thinking about the meaning of life and why am I here, and what is my purpose? How do I help others?
So, first of all, I'm very sorry about your brother.
Me too.
Like, very sorry.
Thank you.
Because,
Thank you.
to get a phone call like that has to be heart-wrenching. It's heart-wrenching.
Absolutely.
How did you start to heal, though? Tell us how you, because that's got to be something that you can almost sometimes not come back from. So
Absolutely.
what was
And so
inside
many
of
people-
you? Yes, what was inside of you?
Yeah, so many people don't. I mean, for years and years and years, people, suffer from grief and loss. I honestly started reading. I started reading everything I could get my hands on having to do with life and death and spirituality and the mind-body-spirit connection. I learned about trapped emotions, that oftentimes this grief, it deeply embeds itself into our bodies, into our tissues. It traps and blocks our energy. And so I read, and then I started taking classes. I learned about some different techniques for releasing these trapped emotions, a technique called EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique, also known as tapping on your different acupressure points. I started meditating and learning mindfulness and breathing techniques. I became a health coach and a yoga teacher, and I learned about energy healing and sound healing. And then, of course, essential oils, so wonderful with working with our body and our emotional state and really promoting feelings of peace and wellness. So lots of different components that have gone into my healing journey.
So, all right, I'm going to ask you a personal question here. There's
Sure.
someone that's watching that I know this can help. She lost a child.
Mm-hmm.
She now uses medical marijuana. She has physical pain and mental pain. What was your aha moment that made you able to even begin to start to want to heal that way instead of getting stuck in the pain? What was different?
Well, I started tuning into my intuition, and I started to feel a connection with my brother on the other side.
Okay.
In the different dimension that we call heaven. I would get songs on the radio that would just come out of the blue that would speak to me, or I would see animals that he and I, when we were growing up, my mother one Easter got us bunnies, and he had this very special brown bunny that he just loved, and he named it Brown Bunny. And I would start seeing bunnies everywhere. I would see bunnies where I shouldn't be seeing bunnies, or I'd see little statues of bunnies in a store, or on some stationery, or different things like that. So I started tuning in and noticing these little signs that he was okay. And I just really felt that we all have that ability if we slow down and breathe and really start tuning into our heart and our intuition. And I do believe that her child could do that for her too, and probably is doing that for her.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Doctor, you have anything to say to Laura?
I wanted to add to what you said, Laura, about the healing of the frequencies in the mind and the body and spirit. When you said that, that brought me right to what I was told by a lot of people that listened to the radio station a couple of years ago, where they were listening and all of a sudden a song would come up and they said, wow, they didn't request that song, but it was the song that brought them back to another time, another place when things were close or the family was close or something. And then another song would come up and it's just like, it'd be repetitious, like right after the other. And it was just, all it was my programming meeting their programming. And us in the harmonious state of the universe together and combining our efforts in what they wanted. And I was giving them what they wanted without them asking for it. So,
Exactly. I believe that's the conversation between our higher selves and the universe, and it all just synchronizes in perfect timing. Everything happens at the perfect moment. So that's beautiful. I love that.
in fact, I healed a couple people just with the music. I mean, there was one kid with cancer in the hospital, and he was feeling really down. And what happened was his family got together, and I gave him a whole day of his music. And it brought the whole family together to listen to what he wanted, and it helped heal him away from the cancer by making him happy. That's what his mother told me, so that was a beautiful thing.
That is
Power of
so
the mind.
beautiful, and that's the power of music and words, and it's also the power of frequency and vibration. I mean, it's all, everything is energy and connected. So, I love that. That's just amazing.
And the funny thing is, he liked the same person that my co-host likes, Elvis.
Oh,
Elvis
honey,
and the Beatles.
honey.
So it was like nonstop 8 hours of Elvis and the Beatles and everything else, from the 70s.
That sounds perfect.
Doc G, I'm having a really bad day. Can I request the same, please?
Well, the rules have changed a little bit now because unfortunately we're under a royalty thing now.
Right.
We can't play more than 2 or 3 songs per hour, but I stretch it a little bit every now and then.
I love it.
Laura, I always tell people this about music. I say, if you have a baby, I don't care if that baby is 6 months old. I don't care if that baby's a year old. If that baby's in a car seat or, one of those little things that they're on the floor in, that, the thing that bounces a little bit, you put music on, they start moving their bodies and jumping to the
It's a
music.
natural
It's so
thing.
innate. It's so natural. Yes. When I see that, all I think about is it's God. Like, that's crazy. How does a baby know that, right?
Yeah.
So it's so important to all of us to have music, good music, healthy music, vibrations, good vibrations in our lives.
Absolutely. Yes, we're born with that. That's
Yes.
just part of our divine blueprint.
So what is energy healing and how does it work? Can you go into some detail for us and we can talk about that?
Absolutely. absolutely.
be yours.
Well, the neat thing is that, for thousands of years, ancient people have understood energy and understood music and chanting and song and dance. And now our modern scientific world is starting to be able to prove all of these things to be true, which is really exciting, that we have the intuitive knowledge, but it's actually being proven to us as well. So energy healing is any modality that moves energy. So that could be chiropractic or acupuncture or yoga or massage or tapping or Reiki or sound healing. So everything is energy. Our bodies are energy. If you were to magnify our bodies, hundreds of millions of times, we would be atoms and molecules moving in space. So everything is, our bodies are energy. Every organ in our body vibrates at its own frequency. We have an electromagnetic field around us that can be measured by science. And not only that, but our thoughts are energy too. And if you've ever had the same thought as somebody else at the same time, finished their sentence, or walked into a room and felt the energy of a room, if there had just been an argument, or maybe just the exciting energy of a sporting event stadium or a concert or something, it's palpable, you can feel it. And so energy moves through us and all around us. And oftentimes the energy of our emotions can get trapped in our bodies. And so we have these energy pathways through us, these energy chakras, they're called, different energy centers and pathways. And when they get blocked, we end up with physical ailments. I give the example sometimes of my sweet grandfather. He was a man of few words. He was raised in that generation where he didn't really express his emotions very well. And even though he loved his family dearly, he'd never uttered the words, "I love you," to his wife or his kids. And he ended up dying of throat cancer. And I just think that's really, really interesting that it seems the energy of his throat, of his communication, was blocked and it manifested in a physical ailment. Illness.
So you think his throat chakra is blocked? Maybe that was the problem.
I think is very possible.
Yeah,
that's kind of what comes to my mind intuitively.
Wait, or tell me, I mean, I could be wrong with this, or with him not being able to express love through his throat. I don't want to say that caused throat cancer. That's not what I mean, but the chakras.
That is
okay.
That's absolutely what I'm saying. It was. I believe it was a blocked energy of love that he was just not able to express that way. So it's interesting. There's a lot of scientific research that is showing, the connection between our emotional state and our physical well-being.
So I have a question about Reiki. I have a friend that does it, and I've had it done a number of times. And people always say to me, that's nonsense. How could they not be touching you? And, but I got to say something, and then give me your take on it, because when she would do it, especially when I needed it the most, I would feel heat between her hands and my body.
Yes, absolutely. Anybody can do this. We are all, because we're energetic beings, we can channel energy through ourselves. All it takes is, I like to say, intention and attention.
Okay.
So you have an intention to channel this love and this healing light through your body, through your voice, through your eyes. I set an intention to do that before I got on the phone with y'all, so hopefully you're feeling some of that. But we all have this ability. And if you take your hands and you rub them together and then you pull them apart and kind of pull them apart and push them together with space in between, you can start to feel the energy of your own energetic field. And so, yes, this is woo-woo stuff that a lot of people will poo-poo, but science is really starting to prove a lot of these different ideas.
I agree.
I'm excited.
So I just want to give a shout out. Brother O is actually watching from Beverly Nation, and you were my guest on his show. Remember, Laura?
Yes, I do.
He's watching you. He's listening in.
All right.
Hey, brother.
I love it.
So, wow, that's really interesting. Like the way you put it, you make it simplified to make people understand and get it. Because, the way we were brought up, okay, everything had to be seen, everything had to be touched, everything had to be, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, even massages, okay, massage therapy. I remember growing up and them saying, well, massages work, but chiropractor does it. That doesn't make sense to me.
Right.
The
funny thing is, for many years, we didn't know about viruses and bacteria because we can't see them with the naked eye, but yet we know they're there. And, the same thing with light waves and radio waves and microwaves. We can't see them, but we know they're there.
Okay.
So I believe that, even with our body's own energetic field, we can't see it, but we can oftentimes sense it. And small children are so good at this. If you've ever noticed, Geri, I know you have grandkids, but if you've ever remember when they were maybe coloring or drawing, maybe they colored the cat pink, or maybe they colored daddy blue or green. It wasn't just because they liked those colors. It was oftentimes because they could see those colors around those people or those animals because of their energy field. So we're all born with this ability. We just tend to turn it off.
Well, I can't believe you just said that because this is interesting. So I am an artist, okay? And my favorite colors are pink and purple. My granddaughter, who's now 3, we were just coloring recently. I was babysitting her, and she got her book out, and we were coloring. And she drew me. She drew her mom, not really, but And she drew appropriate colors. She made me pink and purple. And I said, why is me, Mom, pink and purple? And she said, you and me are pink and purple. Our favorites, she said. So you're right. And they do see, so I laugh now thinking, well, when she looks at me, is that all she sees now, pink and purple, But you're right about that. It's the energy that you give off.
Absolutely. That's the energy we give off.
Wow.
Yes, absolutely. And little kids are just wonderful. They can be our best teachers and our best helpers in remembering our true nature if we just listen to them and watch what they do.
Beautiful.
It's such a beautiful thing.
So, Laura, unfortunately, I'm going to have to say goodbye to you. And again, I apologize, but I have to go to class and get this last certification.
I'm excited for you.
I am
That's
very
wonderful.
excited. Thank you.
You're going to
thank you.
help so many people, Geri. That's
Thank
just
you.
so great.
So now I can beat up people and tell them to not be a dumbass legally, okay? So Doc G's going to take over. Laura, I just want to say thank you. I just love you, and I just think you're an amazing, inspirational, just empowering woman. Continue to do what you're doing. We'll be friends forever, girlfriend. You are always welcome
Geri.
back. In the future, let me know. You are always welcome back. Laura, I'm going to let you give a shout out again to everything you want everyone to know about you. I'm going to head out, and Doc G is going to take over and ask you some more questions, okay?
Okay, Geri.
All right.
Thank you so much.
All
I
right.
love you
Love
too.
you, girlfriend. Thank you, Doc G.
You're welcome. Go ahead, Laura. You can give your information out again, and then we'll get right back
Sure.
into the interview again.
Yes, great. So my website is www.lauradunworth.com, and that will actually pop up as 1111 Health and Wellness. So either site that you type in will be the same. My Facebook page is 1111 Health and Wellness. I'd love to have you follow me. Both have links to my YouTube channel, which contains some free meditations, some essential oil information, and a demonstration video on how to do EFT, which is tapping to help release trapped emotions. So love to have you visit me. And feel free to email me as well at laura@lauradunworth.com.
Wow, it seems like you're an amazing woman. I have a couple things to add to that, but you seem like you're just an amazing person.
Well, thank you so much. Well, I love to learn, and I love to share what I'm learning. So that I feel like that's kind of my purpose.
So So you're, I want to ask you a couple more questions, but you're
Sure.
about energy and energy healing, Reiki energy and stuff like that.
Yes.
So do you believe in sound frequency as well, healing the
Yes.
body?
Absolutely. So that's kind of a newer modality that I have been learning and incorporating into my sessions. So because everything is energy and everything is frequency, we can use instruments. I play the quartz crystal singing bowls. I have a gong. I play something called an ocean drum. And I also teach clients how to use their own breath and their own voice through chanting, because when we can create these vibrations in our body, we can promote healing. So there's some really, really neat studies out there about using sound, vibration, frequency to not only heal our physical body. These vibrations can help break up tumors. I mean, we know from doctors that ultrasound can break up tumors, and different frequencies can do that in the body, can break up tumors.
Sonar does that. Sonar does that too. Go ahead.
Exactly, with these different frequencies. And they can also break up patterns of addiction. They're using gong therapy in some different addiction recovery centers now to help people kind of vibrate out these patterns of addiction and depression and anxiety. So it's really fascinating stuff.
Well, you know what's funny about addiction? I just want to say this, that it's almost like, I hate to say this, it's almost like a little child. If you take the addiction and you just have that person think about something else for another time or a better time, they kind of forget where they were addicted from, and almost like distraction principle, where if you ignore the situation, sometimes it'll go away on its own. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it's deeply embedded in the interest in the system of the person. But 90% of the time, if you ignore it and just breathe and keep saying "I am" or "Om" or any of the things that vibrate at a higher frequency, a lot of times they will go away.
Absolutely. Our minds, our spirits, they're so powerful. And then also oftentimes, even just your awareness, maybe a pattern that's not, I don't want to say not quite as damaging as an addiction, because feelings of self-judgment can be just as damaging. But oftentimes, if you just even notice the patterns of maybe negative self-talk, the way that you talk to yourself, the way that you judge yourself, sometimes if you can just sit and be with it and notice it and think to yourself, isn't it interesting that I do this? Sometimes just the awareness is enough to help you move on past these different ways of thinking.
Well, that's beautiful. What does a typical session with you look like?
Well, it's always a little different. So I teach group classes, but I also see clients individually. So one of the classes that I teach is a meditation class with sound healing frequency. So I start with guiding the participants through a gratitude meditation where we focus on our heart and the things that we're grateful for. And there's some neat research out there through the Heart Math Institute and another man named Dr. Joe Dispenza, who I follow.
Oh, yeah, Joe Dispenza. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Yes, are you familiar with Joe Dispenza?
I think it's from The Secret.
I think so. He's got a lot of really great books out there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he talks about the science of heart-brain coherence. And when you can be still and focus on your heart and focus on gratitude, you actually bring your heart and your brain into a synchronistic rhythm, which that's where you can make these amazing healing changes, physically and emotionally. So I do that with clients. Then I also play the sound healing crystal bowls and the gong, and we do some breath work. So that's my meditation class. And then I also do a slow vinyasa flow yoga class where we really kind of focus on breath and movement as our meditation. And it's a really great way to promote body awareness and presence in the present moment. And then I see clients individually where I do Reiki sessions with them. I also sometimes teach them the EFT, the tapping on the pressure points, to help release trapped emotions. And I also have something called a biomat, which I lay the clients on. It's a heated amethyst and tourmaline mat that was actually created by NASA scientists. But crystals are such great conductors of energy, and they release negative ions and far infrared rays, which are really healing to the body as well.
Oh, wow. Wow, that's really amazing. Well, see, that's kind of what we're going to be doing here at the radio station. We're going to be doing the sound healing, where we're going to be playing. And I've talked to a lot of other friends about this, and they said this is what I should do. I should change the frequency of the song, whatever it is, and then take that song and make an hour of the healing of the mind, or the healing of the brain, or healing of the head. And then all them songs that are either related to or not related to will have the same frequency to heal the body and the mind and the spirit together. And what we're going to do is going to create that for the radio station, so we can bring the healing to the people that listen for that hour, and then at the same time create a playlist with the same healing frequencies for when people listen during the day or whatever at work. They will be able to heal as they work.
I love that. That is so forward thinking and so awesome. And I'm so excited that you're going to do that, because that's going to help so many people. I love to listen to healing frequency music. I believe I've read that the 432 hertz frequency is a really a perfect frequency.
Yes.
For healing the body. But I know that there are other frequencies that work on different parts of us as well. So that is so exciting. I love that.
I think that's kind of what I heard in the past, that the 426 or the 526 is what some of the current songs are now, to disrupt the mind and body spirit together and throw off the chakras, so they're not balanced. And that's kind of where everybody gets confused and is not aligned, and their aura is all out of line and everything else. So I'm still checking into a lot of this, but that's what I'm gathering from the information.
Awesome. Well, Jonathan Goldman is a good resource if you want to look him up. He's got some healing frequency music, and he's kind of a pioneer in that. So that's going to be fantastic. You're going to have to keep me posted on that.
Oh, I sure will. I mean, I'll keep everybody posted. I have another question for you. And how are you using your essential oils? You were talking about earlier about using essential oils, and I've used them in the past, and I found a lot of benefits to them. Actually, I use oil of oregano as an essential oil. I sniff it 2 or 3 times a day, sometimes in the morning, sometimes at night, but it kills all the bacteria and fungus in the sinus packs of the body, or in the head, and doesn't allow me to get any type of virus or bacteria up in my sinus packs. And that's just one of the benefits of the many benefits of that. And I just can't imagine all the other oils that are, that have been kept from us for so long, that have healing properties within the body as well.
Absolutely. Well, that is so great. I love that you're using oregano. So most people don't really put much thought into this, but every drug that we have has been created in a lab to mimic something found in nature, because you can't go out and patent oregano and make billions of dollars.
Very true.
So
you're right.
We have all these medications and drugs that are synthetic, and our body doesn't recognize them, and our body doesn't know what to do with them. And so, which is why we have, these commercials with all of these disclaimers with all the side effects that these medications can cause. So if you can go right to nature's source, if you can go right to these essential oils and try these first, which is what I always do before I go to the doctor. I don't want to tell anybody not to go to the doctor, but if you can use the oils and try them first, and save yourself some money going to the doctor and buying an expensive prescription, why not use something natural? So oils are really, really amazing. As you know, you can smell them. So, they can do things like kill bacteria in the air, like oregano and cinnamon and clove. But you can also smell them for emotional benefits as well. So our olfactory nerve, when we breathe in, when we smell something, it's connected directly to the part of our brain, the limbic system, which is our emotional center. And so that's why you can smell something and it might bring up a memory or a positive emotion. Lavender tends to be very calming to the brain. Citrus scents like lemon and orange tend to be invigorating. There are some scents like vetiver, which is kind of an earthy grass scent that helps people with attention deficit disorder and focus. So oils can help you focus, can calm you, can energize you, can do all of these great things. You can also take a lot of these oils orally. If you take some oregano in a capsule, and again, you have to be very careful because they're very concentrated, and you need to use them accordingly because they are medicinal. But you can take oregano as a natural antibiotic, antifungal. Yes, great for infections. So I take lemon in my water every day. It's a great liver detox. And the lemon oil is not acidic like lemon juice, so it doesn't hurt the enamel on your teeth. It's not upsetting to your stomach. Peppermint is a couple drops in your water is great for an upset stomach. Ginger, let's see. Lavender, of course, is one of the most popular ones, kind of nature's anti-anxiety. And you can rub lavender on the bottoms of your feet at night if you have insomnia. And it goes to work topically into your bloodstream and helps to relax you. And then frankincense is one of my favorites too. That one I use on my skin. I diffuse it for feelings of tranquility and peace. And that one's actually been shown to possibly be anti-cancer. So these oils are just so great, for so many different things.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree with most of that stuff that you were saying. My family is all non-drug and all healthy as best can be. With the environment around you, of course, you've got the toxins of the air around you, you've got the toxins of the water around you, and you've got the toxins of whatever you eat. So if you can combat at least one or two of them, then you don't overtax the liver and you don't have other issues with the liver, and everything else can be filtered through your body like it's supposed to be and go through the waste system. But unfortunately, we overtax and overtox everything that we do in life today. And even like you were talking about EMFs earlier, the 5G network is getting ready to be rolled out, and I think that's going to be very detrimental to humanity from what I'm reading.
Oh, my goodness. I'm glad you know about that. I just actually was reading about that in people in Europe that are already dealing with 5G and headaches and fatigue. And it's, that's really tough. We don't realize how much electromagnetic frequency we take on from our computers and our phones and cell towers and everything. It's, that's something people need to be more aware of.
But there are devices that you can wear that we, have worn a lot, that you put it around your neck and it helps take the energy fields away. It helps pull the energy fields away from the body to keep the energy healthy in your body.
I'm wearing something right now called a tensor ring.
Right.
And so it's made of twisted copper, and it helps to protect, my body from the electromagnetic. So this is so fun to talk to you because you, you know about all this cool stuff and you're already doing it. But there are websites people can go to for cell phone tabs and things that you can wear, and unplugging the Wi-Fi at night, and, doing some different things to kind of help protect yourself.
I totally agree with that too. I think you're amazing. I have to leave early myself because I have been called out, but I'll give you a couple more minutes to talk a little bit about more what you do and just like sum it up if you can, and then then we'll talk more about where where they can get you again and your information.
Great. So yes, I mean my philosophy is all about mind, body, spirit balance and wellness. There have been studies over time that have shown. There's actually one in particular. It was a group of Italian immigrants in rural Pennsylvania in the 70s. And, I'm not promoting drinking and smoking and eating meatballs fried in lard, but that's what they did. But yet they had connection, and nobody was lonely, and they weren't stressed, and they took care of each other, and they didn't have illness. And of course, they weren't eating processed foods as well, but they had that togetherness and that companionship and watching out for each other. And I believe that wellness is more than just food. I think that you can eat all the kale in the world, but if you're stressed and anxious and unhappy and lonely, you're not going to be well. And so I think it's not so much how we or what we eat, it's how we eat. Are we cooking at home? Are we sitting down with our family for dinner? Are we giving thanks for our food? Are we enjoying each bite and breathing and being present with each other, putting our cell phones away? I just think that wellness has so much more to do with being present, being mindful, being grateful, and filling our hearts with love and gratitude. So that's my message. That's really kind of encompasses what I do. I give people tools to help create healthier lives. We all have the innate ability to heal ourselves, and my goal is to just teach people how to do that.
Wow, that's beautiful. And could you give us a quick rundown of what you did for your husband when he had cancer? The protocol, really quick.
Actually, that is a great question. He actually started fighting cancer when he was 17 years old, and so I did not meet him until he was 6 months out of MD Anderson in Houston. So he fought non-Hodgkin's lymphoma for 12 years, on and off with different treatments. And he was actually, the last treatment he had was a bone marrow treatment with his own stem cells, actually. And his own stem cells were able to bring him back. And I met him shortly after that. And we have just, he has really inspired me to really get into nutrition and healthy living and essential oils. He's my biggest customer for essential oils. He's taking frankincense and everything every day. And I get him to breathe with me. I get him to meditate with me. We have, we're blessed to have, a happy, healthy home life. And he has been cancer free now since 1991. So
beautiful. That's beautiful.
Which is just phenomenal. But I attribute that a lot to his attitude and his lifestyle.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's just amazing that he's able, to show other people that, there are ways to get around the chemo and radiation and all this other stuff and still be able to live a great life and not have to deal with any of that, because it really is harmful to the body. So give us a quick rundown now on how we can catch you and where we can find you.
Okay, great. Well, I would love to have you follow me. You can connect with me via email, laura@lauradunworth.com, through Facebook at 1111 Health and Wellness. You'll see my picture pop up. And my website, lauradunworth.com. And I've got a YouTube channel with some good videos on some self-care tips and meditations and essential oils. So I would love to connect with your listeners. I've just been very honored to be one of your guests today.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you so much again for being on the Geri Pettio Show. Laura, It was amazing. You're just an amazing person, and you keep up the good work. And hopefully, we can have you on again sometime.
I would love that. Well, it was my honor and pleasure, and it was wonderful talking to you too. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody else on Facebook and out in the radio land. I'll talk to you later. It's Doc G for the Geri Pettio Show. Have a good night. Bye-bye. Okay, Ruby, shut it off. She was really good.